everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Breaking Character. My name is Jordan-Paige. I'm the show creator and host. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm using my lamp as the light because even though this is being released in January, I'm shooting it well before January, and I still have not brought in my ring light that is usually here. Anyway, I am super excited to have Matthew SCHMID on the show today. Matthew SCHMID is oh my god, here's my cat. Matthew SCHMID is an aspiring filmmaker and actor in Suwanee, Georgia. He loves writing different family-friendly feature films that he wants to make into realities and act in as well. In 2018 to 2019, he wrote, directed, and starred in his own feature film, Young Agents, which won Best Musical Score in the Cyberspace Film Festival of 2020, and is currently available for viewing on YouTube. In 2020, he started working as a PA, as well as playing the role of Andrew in the upcoming cheerleading series, Power of Raw. He also got to play the role of Archie in the short film The COVID Club, created by Spinner's Alley for the 24-hour film race. Whenever he's at home, he likes to spend as much time as he has writing and planning his next projects. Matthew is currently in the process of developing a new feature film called Lola and Zoe's Taptastic Movie in collaboration with Station Pop, a new subsidiary of Cifuentes Media, Inc. They're hoping to finally get started on filming very soon. Matthew hopes to continue making and acting in his own feature films in the future, as well as acting in other productions and collaborating with others. So without further ado, let's head to Zoom. Hey everyone, I am so excited to have Matthew SCHMID on the show today. Matthew, how are you?
I'm good.
You're
I think
good?
I think it's really cool that I'm being interviewed and by someone I know too.
Yes, it is super cool. I'm so excited to have you on the show today. And so let's jump right into it. So we're going to start off with two truths and a lie. So I'm going to attempt to guess which one the lie is. So whenever you're ready.
Okay. I got to ride a dolphin when I was little. I've never been to Europe, and I met China and McClane.
Ooh, okay. Okay. This is difficult. I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna guess the second one's the lie, and that you have been to Europe. Am I
Wow,
right or am I wrong?
you actually guessed right.
I guessed right. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Okay. Also, tell me, how did you meet China and McClane? How did that happen?
Easy. I worked as a background extra on Black Lightning,
Okay.
and I met her on set during season 1, and then I went to see her at Dragon Con and in 2018, and she remembered me there. And
That's awesome.
yeah, and then I continued working on the show as an extra in the last 3 seasons. And every time China saw me again, she always remembered me.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
That's
No matter
awesome.
yeah, no matter how long it's been after we last saw each other, she always remembered me.
That's super cool, man. That is awesome. So, okay, so first question, you started in the industry with both writing and acting. So, can you talk a little bit about your writing and your acting career and how did that lead you to making films?
Well, in 2011, I made YouTube videos with my siblings, so in a way that was sort of acting, maybe. But and then in 2012, I was approached by one of the acting teachers at All Stars Performing Arts, invited me to take acting classes there, so I did. And then you were there, or so I'm sure you did know. And, and in either 2011 or 2012, which would be the same time I started acting. Either one of those years, I thought I was so interested. I I liked watching a lot of movies so much that I thought it would be interesting if I wrote my own movie and try to have that. I tried a lot of different ways is to try it a way, but I kept having trouble and having to wait a long time. But along the way, I started coming up with ideas for other movies too. But it still took a while to have them made, no matter how hard I tried. Like I tried different ways, but then and in 2018, I wrote a different movie that I thought would be easier to try to have made before all of my other harder idea is, and that movie is Young Agents. So, oh, during the summer and fall of that year, I started filming some parts of the movie with a few people I know. Oh, but then and later on, and in 2019, I started casting more people for the remaining roles, continued filming from February to the summer of that year. Or it took longer than I had hoped. We were filming on only weekends because all of the cast were kids and teenagers, and they had school and stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. And yes, All Stars was where we met. So yes, I knew that part of the story absolutely. And then going into the second question, you talked a little bit about young agents already, 2018 to 2019, which is so awesome. So what was that experience like, and what were some of the most valuable lessons you learned from doing your first film?
Well, when I wrote the movie, which was the spring in 2018, I was hoping to start filming it in throughout the whole summer of 2018, but the only scene I was able to film was a short or clip scene in with two of my cousins where they get turned evil and then turned back to good from an evil ray gun that the villains made. I filmed those scenes with them so I wouldn't have to worry about casting anyone else for those roles. But then in the fall all of 2018, I filmed some villain scenes with a few girls I know who are also from All Stars before. I mean, aren't like two close friends, Karina and Melanie, like Karina Gonzalez and Melanie Weeks.
Yes, I remember them. I remember them as well. That's so awesome.
Yeah, they were two of the villains in Young Agents. Karina is the lead villain, and Melanie was her second in command. Yeah, and I had three other girls from All Stars performing on who you probably don't know as some of the evil minions. And along and I filmed before I filmed before I cast the rest of the people. I filmed some short scenes of the movie at my house in the fall. And some scenes were shot in November with my a a co-star DC still. Well, at my husband, we had a sleepover that night because we were filming a night it scene, and so we just stayed over it. And then the next morning we continued filming some more scenes together that he and I are in together. And then we had to wait until a few months and to continue filming the rest of the movies and cast more people for the remaining roles to film the rest of the movie and as it was on weekends only, and a lot of the cast had different conflicts and days where they couldn't be available. We had to wait until the summer to finish film. I mean, it took a lot of weekends and months to finish filming, but then in the summer we finally got it done, and then I can and throughout the fall, I finished editing, and then we had the premiere or event for the movie in January 2020, and then I tried submitting it into a bunch of different film festivals to have it played at, but the only festival that has selected it was the Cyberspace Film Festival of 2020, which was online. None of the in-person festivals that I submitted to selected it, which I still don't like.
And yeah, festivals can be so selective sometimes and be so particular about like the ones that they like, and like out of 50 submissions or 100 submissions they'll take like 3, and it's like, oh my gosh, like the competition is so incredibly high. But well, that is awesome. I'm so glad you got to finish it and you stuck with it after having to take so many months and just able to be able to finish it, which is awesome.
Yeah, and then after that, I did a lot of the closed captioning for the movie all by myself. I tried to submit it somewhere to have it done and for me, but it cost a lot of money, so I just did it myself, and it took a long time.
That's
And then yeah,
tedious.
and
Oh my
then
gosh.
and then I tried submitting it to a film distribution website, but that didn't select it either, so I just released it on YouTube in May of this year.
And I think that's a great plan. I love YouTube and I love how accessible it is for so many people to be able to watch it. So major props to you for sticking with it for so long. That is some serious dedication. And moving on to our wild card question. So this has nothing to do with anything. The wild card question is, what is your favorite ice cream topping?
Well, I don't really eat ice cream,
So you're not a fan of ice cream. Why don't you are you why aren't you a fan of ice cream, or do you just not like it?
I'm just a health food kind of guy.
That's fair. That's fair. You know, I wish I was a health food kind of person. I am not. I am horrible when it comes to, I have such a sweet tooth. It's so bad. All right, so then we're going to move on to our game of memory association. So the way memory association works is I've got my random word generator pulled up here on my phone. I'm going to generate a random word and find a good one because sometimes it takes a little bit to find a good one. And then once I say the word, we're both going to talk about the first memory that comes to our head when we hear that word. So our word, oh, this one isn't bad at all. This word is bake. B-A-K-E, bake.
Well, I don't think I've ever baked anything, and I think there may or may not have been some times where either my mom or my sister might have baked cake or brownies. Yeah, I think they have, but I've never really baked anything.
Not a baking fan. It can be
Not
really
really.
tedious. So my memory that popped into my head when I heard baking is I remember there was this one time that I tried out this recipe of, it was supposed to be red velvet cookies. And when I say they turned out horrible, it was terrible. They were, I don't know what happened, but it was a recipe that I had gotten off online, and I will never, I am so selective now about any sort of recipe that I see online. Like, it has to have such great reviews for me to even think about trying it, because those cookies were horrible. And I felt bad for anyone who I subjected to those cookies.
Was it food poisoning or just bad
No, they were
taste?
thankfully not. No, they just didn't taste. There was something about the taste of them that was just off. So yeah, no, thankfully it was not food poisoning. They were fully, baked and everything like that. And it wasn't any recipe or any ingredient that had been bad. I think it was just the recipe itself, that the way they mix things together, or the yeah, it was just not good. So it was bad. And then, okay, so I know you're currently working on your film, Lola and Zoe's Taptastic movie. How is that going? And once that's completed, what are your plans for the future?
Well, I started writing the film in late 2019 and finished in early 2020. And I plan to do this film in collaboration and with some friends of mine, and Jennifer and Sebastian Cifuentes of Cifuentes Media. They have their own that's their own company, and for different and kinds of products, they have Spinner's Alley for ages 13 and up, films and pop shows that are 13 and up, and Station Pop, which is for a younger audience and up. And but we're doing this movie through Station Pop, and I started casting the movie in the spring of 2020, and I was hoping to film it in the summer of 2020, but COVID ruined everything.
Oof, yeah, that was
Yeah, and we kept trying to plan and schedule the film on the movie like either late 2020 or the spring or summer of this year, but things just kept getting complicated, and it's been driving me crazy. And I was hoping to do it in the fall of this year or two, but things still got complicated, so we're still trying to figure out the official schedule for when we could finally start filming and get it done. And it's a really interesting movie. I think you and a lot of other people might like it. It's got a pretty good cast. It's, although oh, Jennifer and Sebastian said that they wanted to make this film fully vaccinated cast and crew. So when I told the cast that, some of them ended up dropping out because they don't plan to get vaccinated anytime soon. But I heard that independent films don't require everybody to get vaccinated, so I'm hoping that we can do that for this film and for any other films I make next. But then after this film, I'm hoping to make a lot of other or feature films I have ideas for, like a sequel to Young Agents, which would introduce adults for the first time in their own town. Like, Young Agents takes place in a town where all of the people are kids and teenagers, and they stay that way forever. And then the sequel would introduce adults for the first time, and they would also be their same age forever, and never get older than they are.
I would like that. I would prefer to not continue growing up. So I would love to stay at the age that I am. Granted, I've said that for like the past 5 years. And you know, in the real world, we just have to keep growing up. But that's awesome that you plan on doing more in the future. So a sequel to Young Agents. What are some other ones that you're thinking about?
Well, one other feature film I'm writing. I'm pretty sure previously I told you about this one, but it's a movie where I would be playing in myself, and I would be teaming up with either or two or three girls to rescue some friends of mine who got kidnapped by a large army of kidnappers who they kidnap kids from all over Georgia while wearing invisibility suits, which would actually be chroma key outfits.
Chroma key. Yes, I do remember you telling me about that one. That's so great that you have so many in mind, and I'm so glad that you know, have made your first film, you're going into your second one and want to continue to make films. So could you give some advice to those that are watching? This can be whatever type of advice you want to give.
Well, if anybody has good ideas for films they want to make, I'd say, hey, write it down and try to get it made in however way possible. Like, try to get help from any filmmakers you know, or try to get it done yourself if you can, or anything like that.
Definitely. And I love that advice. Just, you know, don't let anything stop you, right? Just write it down, see if whatever it takes to try to get that made.
Yeah, and try to have it released in however way you want. Like, if you want to release on YouTube, that's fine. But if you want to release it in a cool way, like on iTunes or Amazon or anything like that, or even in theaters, then try to get it done. Try to do that however you can.
Yep. Just don't give up on that, which I love. And then when things get tough, when things get frustrating, what pushes you to keep going?
Well, when things get complicated, it really drives me nuts. But I just continue writing things down and try and the plan schedules and other things like that, and just keep working on it and hoping to get it done soon.
Yeah. Just never stop working towards the dream of getting it done. Just that perseverance of pushing forward.
Yeah, I just choose not to give up on my projects.
That's great. That's a huge thing because some people do. And so the fact that you don't and you're like, I'm going to stick with it no matter how long it takes is very, very admirable. And then lastly, where can people follow you and keep up with what you do?
Well, people can and follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Matthew_Schmid, and they could also follow my production company account at Matthew Schmid Pictures on both Instagram and Facebook, and check out Matthew Schmid Pictures on YouTube, where you could find young agents.
Awesome. Well, that will all be in the description below, so everyone can go follow you on Facebook or friend you on Facebook and follow you on Instagram and subscribe to you on YouTube. So thank you so much for being on the show. I am so, so glad you were on the show.
Me too. Thanks for having me. It's
Of
great.
course.
It was cool being interviewed by someone I know, and it's been a long time since I've seen you.
It has been a long time. So yes, this was absolutely great. I'm going to press stop on the recording. So we are going to head out of Zoom.
Thank you all so much again for watching today. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, you can like the video if you want. You can subscribe if you feel like it. You can follow us on Instagram at Breaking Character Show. If you yourself are a creative and you're interested in being on Breaking Character, you can check out the link in the description below on how to submit yourself. You can also find all of Matthew and I's social media down there as well. And next week, I am so, so excited to have my good friend Julie Jessenberger on the show. And Julie, if I butchered your last name, I'm so sorry. We've known each other for like 2 years, and I apologize if I have messed up your last name. But I am so, so excited to have Julie on the show. She is such a talented screenwriter, and I'm so excited to get to talk to her. So thank you so much again for watching, and we will see you next Tuesday.